Welcome to Miller's Mods, ladies and gentlemen. It's a little different. I'm going to show you how to install a blowout guard in a Nexus Pro. The same process can be done for the Dark Zone Max Striker as well. I've already have the blaster in front of me. It's already disassembled to kind of cut down. It's very easy to disassemble one of these. I mean, it's like clockwork pretty much. So let's begin, shall we? You notice this one's a little different. This one has some metal internals in it as well. Which is pretty nice. The metal internals are great. The plunger tube mod on this thing sucks for the metal part, but I bought the metal kit just basically for this and the catch over there. Let's begin, shall we? First thing you do is you take this guy like this, take some Teflon tape. Just wrap it around a bunch of times, like so. The reason why you're doing this is so that way, because the blowout guard is going to help some, but you still may have blowout. You're doing this so that way you get a better seal no matter what. I mean, I can't tell you exactly how many wraps to use. That's the only bad thing about it, see? That's done, that's handled. Looks nice and neat. What you do? Put it all like that. Put the plunger tube in ahead of time. So that way you don't have half the issue. Take it. Wrap one ring around it. Then put the second ring on like that. Nice and neat. Okay. This is a blowout guard. You can get these printed. I'll put the description up and in the comments for this one and the one for the Max Striker as well. If you're running a high spring load, I suggest you do that. Put it in place like this. See, boom, locks right into place. Nice and neat, beautiful. You see how it's still a little bit wiggly, has a little bit of room in it to play. See now you won't have blowout. Very simple mod to do. Very, very, very simple. I'm going to assemble this thing part of the way back together, and then when I get to the point where I got to close the shell, then that's when I'm going to stop the video, ladies and gentlemen, to kind of cut down on the duration of the film. Again, this is my super lube. A little bit goes a long way. Put it in like this. It's neat. Metal catch. I suggest when you run a turf spring in these blasters, you always use a metal catch, especially on the Nexus Pro, because the catches are cheap. And I know it. I've blown out a couple metal catches before. There are a couple plastic catches from these. And just metal parts are always superior anyway. While I'm putting the screw in, I'm going to talk to you about something very briefly. Apparently, everybody's gone gaga over this alien blaster that was released by Hasbro Pulse. Which is fine. People can spend their money on whatever they want. The way I look at it is that Hasbro Pulse is kind of like the Lexus line of cars. They have Toyota and then they have Lexus. Toyota actually owns Lexus, believe it or not. So Hasbro's Hasbro Pulse is more like the Gucci line. They given us two offerings. One of them is a Mandalorian blaster, which costs well over $100. I think it's closer to $200 if I remember right. Again, don't quote me on prices. What that is that's basically an oversized jolt. Not kidding. Second one they released this week was the Aliens blaster. So what is that to our community? That's a rapid strike with a master key on it. Whoop-de-doo. But that's $100 for that blaster. I'm sorry. I'm not going to buy one of those blasters. I won't even mention anything other than this to you. If you want to buy from there, that's fine. But keep in mind, the lead time's 14 months. That's a long time for a blaster to be released. I mean, they did other blasters there. They did a Travis Scott blaster for Fortnite, and then when it came out, it was different. The paint job was different than what it was supposed to be. The paint job actually looked cheesy and cheap, in my opinion. My simple opinion. I won't do something like that. One, because I'm not made of money like that, and neither are most of the people in the community. I think Hasbro Pulse is designed for, quote, the collector, somebody that wants to spend that kind of money. You can spend whatever money you want, you can flush whatever money down the toilet you want, but I suggest if you don't have money like that, don't bother with it. As you see, it's all nice installed. The blowout guard just slides right in. You do the Teflon tape around the place, you put your O-rings back on, it's done. It's all ready to go back together. It's a very simple mod to do, and this way you will not have blowout ever again. This process also works for the Dark Zone Max Striker as well. The two blasters that suffer from blowout. The reason being is because of this telescopic piece right here. And of course, I put the safety lead in here. I pulled out all locks ahead of time. I could have replaced the trigger. I have a 3D printed trigger, but because I've got metal parts, I fear as though that 3D printed trigger will wear out. So I decided to just negate it and keep my stock trigger. Drax Ethereum triggers do not work well with the metal parts. They don't play well together, unfortunately. But this is just my 2 cents about Hasbro Pulse and all that. I mean, if you want to buy it, that's fine. Go right ahead. I'm not going to mention it. I don't care. As far as I'm concerned, as soon as that video went live, every video I saw on the internet from every other influencer, it was nothing but clickbait, in my opinion. I would rather put out videos like this and reviews of my own. But if you look at this, it's very neatly set up, very simple, very nice, good to go. Now, I'm going to close the shell. This is Milo's Mods signing off.